What's going on, guys? Jada Black here. Shout out to everyone tuning in. I want to talk about this OnlyFans model whose landlord, who she claims her landlord doubled her rent after finding out what she does for a living. Now, I don't think that her rent should be doubled like this, but we never know why it was doubled. Maybe she owed rent and had refused to pay it. At one point, he got fed up and decided to up the rent. But I don't think, and then we're going to get into the article, but I don't know if he's doing it maliciously, but he could. I'm not supportive of that at all. I think if you have a set rent, you should have it. There may be times where you change it, but you need to let your tenants know in advance so they can find another place to live. This, again, I want women to understand when you get into OnlyFans modeling, you're going to have to deal with different types of people. People that may think that you're a slur. People may think, oh, she's an OnlyFans model. She's making money. That's why the platform has grown as big as it has now, because OnlyFans is synonymous with money, making money, especially if you're a woman with a big enough butt or boobs or attractive. You're going to be able to make money from that. There's always a meat market in regards to women's bodies. And women are okay with that. That's why they join the platform. So women have to understand that this type of weird stuff can happen. Again, we may not know the full story. We're only going to see this from her viewpoint. And this is an article from the Birmingham Mail. This was sent to me. So let's see what they have to say about this particular person. An OnlyFans model claims her landlord increased her rent by more than double when he found out her profession. Romi Chase, who's 29, was stunned when her former landlord, see that former, so she must have moved, paid a surprise visit after she had been living in her 4-bedroom home for nearly a year. Under the guise of a routine home inspection, Romi says she was confronted about her work in the adult industry. A few weeks later, the influencer said that she received a letter informing her that her monthly rent was raising from $2,300 a month to $4,800 a month. Yeah, that's crazy. That is insane. Listen, you may not like what she's doing. You may not agree with it, but that doesn't mean that you can go and raise people's rent like that. Now, again, this is according to her. And she ended up moving, which is why that's her former landlord. But this guy, you know what's crazy? I bet you the landlord probably joined her OnlyFans and been spending money on her OnlyFans. And maybe he didn't get the content he was looking for, and he decided to raise that rent. Would that surprise any of you? Listen, again, I'm not a fan of that. You have a set rent. You should have that. Doesn't mean you should double it just because what she does for a living. Because if she can pay $2,300 a month, I'm pretty sure she could pay that anywhere. Romi, who made $1 million in her first year on OnlyFans. It's a side note real quick. It's a side note. I've already posted, if I'm doing this, I've already posted a video about Bad Baby. She made $1 million in her first couple of hours on OnlyFans, right? And she's claiming she made $50 million over the course of a year on OnlyFans. If this female made $1 million in her first year on OnlyFans, if she made $1 million on her first year on OnlyFans, right, then I am sure that Bad Baby made something close to that. She claims she made $1 million in her first year. So wouldn't that really surprise you that Bad Baby would have made $50 million over the course of a year? I'm just saying. He told me he found my Instagram, went through all my links and my OnlyFans and was astounded, completely taken aback, and put on the spot, to say the least. He definitely made the impression that he didn't take kindly or approve of how I make an 100% legal living. He had an attitude, and I could feel him judging and looking down on me, but I chalked it up to being from a different generation with a different set of values. That's what it is. I think that's what it is too. I think that he's from a different generation. He doesn't understand this Instagram stuff, but it's funny that he was able to go through her Instagram. So obviously he has one, or maybe somebody told him, because somebody probably told him. Unless he has, you know, as a landlord, he has access to their social media. But you do have the older generation who look down upon this because, you know, they see women, they see good women a certain type of way. They see women that should be a certain type of way. You know, I have spoken about the nature of women. I accept women for who they are. I want people to understand this and understand this very clearly. I have nothing against women having OnlyFans. Zero. I have nothing against them wanting to make money from that. What I have an issue is with them claiming to be independent and they don't need a man, and they want to claim some women empowerment when literally men have made you a success financially. So again, I'm not against women having OnlyFans. I'm not against anybody having OnlyFans. Do what's in the best interest of you and your family. As long as you, again, as she said, is 100% legal and you're an adult, you do whatever it is you want to do. But understand there's going to be people who don't see that the same way. When the Polish model called him to ask him why he hadn't informed her of the rent hike during the inspection, she claimed he did not provide explanation. Despite being able to afford the new price, Romi decided to forgo her security deposit and move out of the apartment, saying she felt judged. So I believe she is living out there in Las Vegas. Okay. It ain't cheap to live out there. It ain't cheap to live out there. I believe that's where she's living now because she has it in her bio. Again, Western society has changed. You know, women used to have to script for this type of money. They still do. Fly to a foreign country to make that type of money. I mean, cam modeling has been around for a long time, but OnlyFans popularity has made these women do the minimal and still make a whole lot of money. And I don't think that's really going away anytime soon. The platform is just way too successful. Too many people over there that are making a lot of money. The platform's making money. They were going to make changes, but they didn't. But again, if you don't feel like you're being treated right, then move. You have every right to move and to choose to live elsewhere. You know? She said, "I'm proud of what I do. I wasn't hiding anything. I can't help but wonder if my landlord in his research became an OnlyFans customer and enjoyed my work." He probably did. I'm telling you, I think he spent a stack over there. Maybe 2 on that OnlyFans. Who knows? You know, he probably spent a little bit too much money and he's feeling some type of way. Former primary school teacher Romi left her home in Poland in 2017 in pursuit of starting a life in America. She started in New Orleans, but then moved to Alabama and eventually to Orlando, Florida the following year. So, man, so wait a minute. You had this female. She's living in New Orleans. Then she went to Alabama and eventually to Orlando, Florida. I wonder, did she meet some guy online? And because those are some weird places for a Polish woman who's an OnlyFans model to move. Like you move to New Orleans, then to Alabama, then eventually to Orlando, Florida, even though she has Las Vegas in her bio. She said, "I didn't really have a plan. My degree wasn't worth much." See, I tell you, them degrees are worthless, but heifers love bragging about them. Much so, at some point, I was broke. I didn't have my social security number. I didn't have my green card or work permit, so I had to hustle. I started doing side gigs for fetish sites and glamour photo shoots. I never considered that to be something I'd be doing full time. Her plus-size modeling career, selling glamour and fetish photos and making adult videos on OnlyFans skyrocketed. So by January 2020, she wanted to move to a larger home in Miami. I moved there to get better opportunities for my career that was taking off. said Romi. It was a nice home, nice open layout. It was great. During the course of the year, she made her first $1 million. See, making $1 million ain't the same like it used to be. You know, that'd be a benchmark. Now it's whatever. And become one of the world's top OnlyFans creators. She said, I was a model tenant. I never missed a payment, even during the pandemic when my career actually thrived. I was quiet and low-key. Nothing illegal or suspicious ever went on, and I never had an issue with any of my neighbors. Life was good. I was happy and grateful to be a stranger in a new land, prospering and making a life for myself. Then in late November last year, she said the inspection from her landlord, she said all of a sudden he's like, I found you on Instagram. I'm like, oh, okay. I didn't think much of it because whatever, my Instagram is public. If you find me, you find me. Allegedly, he found my OnlyFans. You can clearly see it as an adult site, so he probably got a pretty good idea of what I was doing. I said she said she felt he didn't like what she was doing, but it's a legal job. I'm paying taxes. I have registered as a small business. I wasn't going to waste my time trying to explain myself. I didn't have anything to explain. She said, I was just weirded out. I didn't even know what that was about. Why are you confronting me about my job? Would you confront a lawyer or a job? A lawyer or a job? When I moved in, he knew my finances. He was aware of the money I was bringing in, and he didn't ask me about anything. A few weeks later, the influencer said she had received a letter from the landlord informing her that her monthly rent would be increased from $2,300 to $4,800. She said it's a 120% increase during a time when people are just barely surviving, leaving me in a bad spot to say the least. Because trust me, if she's making $1 million, she's probably spending a bunch of that on material things. She says the notice required her to pay up or move out within 60 days. Romi said since her lease had a 60-day notice period, she was forced to make a decision on that day or lose her deposit. So she said she immediately contacted her landlord, but she said he was dismissive and cold when she asked him why he didn't mention her imminent rent increase when he visited her for inspection. She says she decided to leave. She moved to Las Vegas, Nevada, as she had heard from other performers in the industry lived there and a much happier and paying reasonable rent. She says a lot of people would have maybe paid. I was like, nope. I've bought a way better crib now in Vegas. It's a 5-bedroom, 5-bath with a private pool. It's my dream home, and I came out on top. No pun intended. Listen, she feels like she's in a better place. She feels like she was able to win this. I mean, you know, that's good for her. You know, I don't know, man. I hopefully that landlord was able to find somebody to pay that $2,300 or that $4,800. She could have asked her neighbors, did they get an increase, or it was her. You know, she probably could have took this the legal route. But, you know, she feels like she's in a much better place, then that's fine. But I will say this, though. There's a lot of women now who are dependent on OnlyFans. They are dependent on OnlyFans. So hopefully for their sake, that site continues or men continue to support it. Because I feel that without men supporting that platform, a lot of women would be in a very bad spot. But, you know, let me know what y'all think in the comment section below. Like the video, share it, follow me on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And I will see y'all on the next one. Y'all take care.